destroy this bad thing for them? Or how is it possible?
Right. Like, how can you argue with God? It's mad. Like, this is the creator of the universe. He knows what's got to be. He knows what's happening. So what are you doing? Here's the key. When God said to Moses, I'm going to destroy the Jews, he didn't say, I'm commanding you to tell the Jews right now they're destroyed, and I'm commanding you to start anew with me. He simply said, I'm going to destroy the Jews. What do you think, Moses? He wasn't commanding Moses to do something. He was having a conversation. So, for example, God commanded Abraham. We think Abraham, he protests at what God says. He commands Abraham to sacrifice his son, Isaac. Does Abraham protest? No. Abraham says, okay. The difference is, God didn't command when it came to Moses. He opened a conversation. And he's inviting Moses to come into that conversation. When it's not a command anymore, it's actually a conversation. He's looking to hear from his creations, from his children, for them to stand for their people and stand up for them. And while it's almost like he's actually engaging in a conversation with different elements. He speaks out and represents justice, and then he wants his children to speak out in conversation back to him and represent mercy and kindness, and to have that conversation. So the point is not that you should be in disagreement with God on principle. The question is, what is the kind of conversation that he's starting with his creations? Yeah.
In that case, if God told Noah to do something and Noah listened and he did what he should have done, and then his God asked Moses something else, then he wasn't asking rather than telling. So that he gave a different form of question and got a different response, which that's expected. Was punished for it.
So he told him to build an ark, but he didn't say, you must agree with me that I'm going to flood the earth and there's nothing's going to change on this front. And Noah could have responded. He was simply saying this is what's going to happen. It wasn't a command. He's just been commanded to build the ark. That's it. And in fact, part of the reason that God wanted him to take time building that ark is because he was hoping that people would pay attention and Noah could invite them into a conversation to try and persuade them to change their ways. So it's really a question of not breaking a command, which I don't think we see any evidence for with Noah or Abraham or Moses. It's really just inviting them into a conversation about what's happening. It may include some elements of a command, but whenever there's a space for a conversation around something that God says is going to happen, it's usually because he's inviting them into it. And by the way, he loves when we do that. He loves when he sees his children standing up for each other and looking out for one another, even if they might not be deserving. Because people often think it's more pious, especially when you're a rabbinic leader or a religious leader, to sort of bash your people and say you're all terrible and these people are terrible, and the only way that we learn from Torah that God doesn't like that at all. There's nothing pious about thinking I'm going to be holier than thou at the expense of the rest of everyone else. The point is that if you truly want to be pious, then that means you care for what God cares for, which is all of his children. And so that's what we learn from the story, and it's a little bit counterintuitive, but it's very powerful.
If you've made it so far in this video, I have a request for you. JTV has been having a really big impact in spreading the truth about Israel and creating positive associations with the Jewish people, Judaism, and Israel. We've really grown a lot, particularly in the last year, and we're having a really significant impact, both for Jews and non-Jews. But I really want to take JTV to the next level so we can start to compete with the other big online media beasts that are often peddling anti-Israel content. And the way we're going to do that is to scale even faster. So I'd love to build a team where we have other presenters doing shows like me. Let's start doing documentaries, supplementary content, animated content, etc., etc. And to do that, I'd like to build a bit of a team. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one fundraising day, just one, where we try and build up some funding in order to fund such a team. Now, to do that, it's going to obviously require people to get involved. And I'm wondering if you would consider, if you're watching JTV content and appreciate what we do and want to help partner with us in taking this to the next level and spreading the truth farther and wider than ever before. I wonder if you'd consider partnering with us simply by running a mini page on the fundraiser that we do, where you just reach out to your contacts on that day that we choose to fundraise and see if they'll all chip in. If you'd be up for doing that, of which I would be so grateful, then please click on the Google form link in the video description of this video, where you can simply just put in a few contact details. It'll be a very small commitment, as I say, literally just one day that we'll all agree upon as a collective community. But the impact is going to be so big. There's such strength in numbers. If we all pull together and do this, we can take this to the next level. And as I say, all of us can partner together in bringing and spreading the truth to the whole world. So please do consider clicking on that link, filling in the form, and I'll be in touch very soon to talk about the next steps. Small commitment, but a big impact. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.